Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studio, it's time for the Gnfcc 400 Insider. Connect, build, and grow with the Greater North Fulton Chamber of Commerce.
Hello and welcome to the Gnfcc 400 Insider, the monthly radio show and podcast presented by the Greater North Fulton Chamber. I'm Callie Boatright, President and CEO of the Chamber. And in today's episode, we are thrilled to have Verónica Maldonado-Torres, the President and CEO of the Georgia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, joining us. Welcome, Verónica.
Thank you so much, Callie. I'm honored to be on your show.
I am super excited to have you as well. It is a special time for the Georgia Hispanic Chamber as they mark their 40th anniversary of serving the community. So we are really excited to delve into the impactful role that this chamber has had and discuss the vibrant celebrations that are going to be happening during Hispanic Heritage Month, which just happens to be now, running from September 15th to October 15th. So I think the best thing to do, Verónica, is really to start with a little bit about your background. I'm assuming you didn't grow up just always wanting to be the Georgia Hispanic Chamber president. Maybe I'm wrong. How did you get involved, of course, with the business of the chamber and a little bit before that?
Thank you so much. No, I did not grow up thinking that I would be a chamber leader, but I always had a passion for supporting community, and I love everything about small business. I have a deep passion for empowering our communities and fostering economic growth because my family has had their own business for over 40 years.
Oh gosh, so you grew up in this.
So I grew up in it, from cold calls to customer service to just trying to understand the business climate and seeing how important being able to provide resources to a small business and a small business family really was to them. So that's where my passion has grown from. And I've had some amazing roles in my lifetime that have allowed me the chance to champion small businesses and leadership. It's really been in my DNA on all sides, whether it's my family here or my family in Colombia, South America. So I come from a very entrepreneurial family on both sides. And I just feel blessed to be able to support our business community now. And no, I did not think that I would be a chamber leader. In fact, my mother was a chamber chair of the board 15 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
So you can basically say I'm a bit of a chamber baby.
You are.
Because she's been a part of the chamber for 40 years and the chamber is celebrating 40 years. So I grew up really understanding the significance and the impact. And I happened to be in a time and a season in my life where I had left working for the Georgia Minority Supplier Development Council and leading the Georgia Mentor Protege program, which was probably one of my favorite roles in my entire life, to help build and scale businesses. And this was all businesses, all industries, all sectors that were $1 million to $30 million in annual revenue. And then after 8 years, I stepped away. I started my consulting company. I did a lot of consulting work for supplier development and leadership development for Fortune 500s, and then just some unique experiences of my own, because I've always wanted to champion and kind of shepherd.
Girl, you're an entrepreneur too.
Yeah, I am. It's in my DNA.
Yep.
And then I got a phone call. Hey, did you know that the position for the Georgia Hispanic Chamber is open? And I said, that sounds lovely. And I really wasn't interested, but I did my research after getting several phone calls. And I believe that there's a season and a reason for everything in your life, Callie. And sometimes you get that knock at the door 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. By the 4th or 5th time, I said, doggone it, maybe I'm being a little stubborn. This is an opportunity I should look at. And once I took a look at kind of the facts and figures around the growth of the Hispanic community, I felt very strongly about being able to champion the Hispanic businesses, because I had worked the last 15 years only with $1 million to $30 million businesses. And one of the statistics that I learned was there's only 3% of Hispanic businesses that surpass $1 million in annual revenue.
I didn't realize that number was so low.
Blew my mind.
Yeah.
And I said, if I can be a part of championing and changing, that's something I'd like to be a part of. So then voila, here I am.
That's right.
Never thought, but so blessed and grateful. It's been an incredible journey the last 3.5 years.
And I'm grateful as well because, spoiler alert, Verónica and I are also good friends and enjoy doing this chamber thing together. So it's always wonderful when I have a chance to celebrate a friend and someone who's doing such an excellent job. So let's go ahead and jump forward and just talk about the Hispanic Chamber. Maybe share a little bit about its number of members, what its main goals and strategies are, because as you mentioned, mentioned, Hispanic businesses are going to run the gamut, right? It's not just certain size. It's every single different type of business. And hey, it's statewide.
Yeah.
So you've got a couple of things going on. Tell me a little bit maybe about the Hispanic Chamber from an overview.
Sure. There's never a dull day. It's not the same day twice. And you know that being in chamber world. We've been here 40 years. We represent about 1,500 members ranging from small businesses to large corporations, even counties and cities and communities, all part of that kind of inclusive ecosystem of building up, being a champion of commerce and of community and a conduit and a voice for making sure that our businesses get the resources that they need. And our key goals are fostering economic equity, promoting entrepreneurship, providing our members with advocacy, access, opportunities, and connection. So we've got 4 pillars, obviously legislative advocacy and public policy, and you do that work every single day as well, making sure that we have a strong network to network. When folks are coming here, Callie, and we're in this really amazing niche space that we serve our Hispanic community, but we also serve others that want to build and grow with our Hispanic community. We're this incredible bridge with all of the folks who want to build, grow, and support the Hispanic business ecosystem. And we've been doing that for 40 years. So having a strong place where you can go and network and learn how to navigate to get access to the resources to grow your business, or leadership development and workforce development, which is another one of our pillars, or education and capacity building, which is our 4th pillar. We have 6 accelerator programs right now through our 501c3. So we have our 501c6, which is our chamber world, our 501c3 that does incredible statewide work. And we were one of the first Hispanic organizations in the state of Georgia to receive congressional funding to expand and specifically support the community where they could have linguistic access to business services and technical support. So a lot of great work on that front. We're headquartered in downtown Atlanta, but we've got reach all across the state. And we also have something that we call like a digital chamber, where because of our metaverse platform, we're able to bring great webinars and extend the in-person experiences that we have through our 8 signature events to folks across Georgia and even internationally. So again, those are some of our pillars. And we also have our Cultivating Hispanic Leadership Institute. We've had 7 classes graduate from that in partnership with UGA. And we continue to serve our community. We had about 6,000 people that attended our events last year, Callie. We have about 110 events a year. And that also includes our partners like the Greater North Fulton Chamber, which we're blessed to have that partnership because although we're statewide, we also need to be localized. And we understand the importance of being a part of our local community.
And I think that's a big part of it too. And we've seen it as a chamber, obviously. And it's funny because last year, so celebrating our 50th, now your 40th, we have so much synergy going with the things that we're going through, not just as leaders of great organizations with business people, but we also are doing great work with the same people in some cases. I know I was just able to attend your celebration for top 50 Latinos across the state, which was amazing. But I got to do that because one of my members, who's also one of your members, asked me to be her guest.
I love it.
I know. And I just think, number one, if Maria Fendora asks you to go to something, you say, yes, ma'am. And number 2, the fact that you all were celebrating such a great family and somebody in our region. And that's important to us. You said it so beautifully. Your chamber has impact not just across the state, but on the Hispanic community and those wanting to do business with the Hispanic community, the wider business community all over. And for North Fulton, I am so proud to be your partner in hosting those North Fulton meetings that you're able to have up in this region. Maybe talk a little bit about your impact in North Fulton and what you've seen.
Yes, I think our partnership has been incredible. It's one of the strongest partnerships we have, and we continue to develop. And again, that local component, being able to connect the local community to the resources and to our diverse community in general is really important. We have have a quarterly business networking group that we do, and we have anywhere from 40 to 50 people coming to these.
It's a good group.
We've been able to I think, really tie in some of those local Hispanic businesses and leaders with the greater community and that integration that we've seen. We were also a part of your multicultural experience. I got to tell you, as much as I'm grateful that we're highlighting our Hispanic chamber, it also takes partners like you to fully integrate the entire community together. And I think our impact is really seeing more folks engaged, and that more business opportunities are happening, and connecting them to those local resources, whether it's banking institutions or potential clients. And so that's been a very exciting thing to see. I think we've really been able to not only bring our educational programs or networking activities that have been really online, but its presence. There's power in showing up in the present and being in the flesh, of which I'm so grateful that we've been able to do that after a tough time during the pandemic, where we know how important having a connected physical network is. We don't want to undermine at any time the ability to leverage technology, but that in-person, face-to-face feel of community and business and engagement and growing those relationships is so critical. And I think we've been able to do some great things together because of that.
Yeah, it all goes back to your beginning note about community impact, right? You can have so much more impact when you're in person and certainly within the region. And for those of our listeners who have not yet been to a Georgia Hispanic Chamber event, having been to those events, please understand this isn't a room full of only Hispanic business leaders, right? Great diversity at your events as well. And I think that's really important because those allies, those people who are really interested in assisting and growing and doing business with that, your networking is multiplied.
Absolutely.
You're a great multiplier.
I thank you so much. I think people ask us, do you have to be Hispanic to be a part of the Georgia Hispanic Chamber? I said, that's my favorite question.
That's right.
Absolutely not. We have folks from all over. Again, I think the goal and the focus is anyone who really wants to build, to collaborate and grow, that is what we welcome. And we've seen some incredible partnerships happen. And we have a very diverse group of folks engaged with us.
And you're very forgiving of my bad Spanish, so I appreciate that too. So thank you for that.
Yo estoy muy orgullosa de tu español. I'm very proud of your Spanish.
Gracias. So that's about the sum total. All right.
It's about the effort, Callie.
I try as much as I can. That's right. Thank you for that. So the Big 4-0.
Yes.
This is your year. The Big 4-0, the Georgia Hispanic Chamber turns 40 now. And I was at your gala, which was fabulous and had so many beautifully dressed people there and great big personalities too. It was just so much fun. It really was. So I know that you've done that event already in the past, but how are you celebrating this milestone anniversary? What special recognitions or events, or are there unique ways or additional programs that you're adding as part of this celebration?
Absolutely. We launched this year, Callie, with a new refreshed brand for the Georgia Hispanic Chamber, a new refreshed website, more benefits connected to the member experience that we're so proud of. I feel like we were a little bit behind when it came to that, and we've brought things 40 years into the future, which is our theme for this year.
I love that. 40 into the future. It doesn't rest on its laurels. It's totally looking forward, but also celebrating, right?
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
We celebrate the past, we focus on the present, but we're very mindful of what do the next 40 years look like? And then in the next 4 years, what do we need to be doing to build collaborative bridges for all of our communities and our businesses to grow together? So yes, we had our legislative breakfast, which was huge, which we had the reveal of the new brand and our new theme, and really rallying folks around really thinking purposefully about how we're engaged with the Hispanic community today and tomorrow. And what do we need to continue to integrate a little bit more? We had our gala, our 40th anniversary. I loved that we came up with a night of a million stars, because in the state of Georgia, we represent about 1.2 million Latinos. And that's a big number, but it's growing even more between the next 30 to 40. In fact, just a little fun fact, the Atlanta Regional Commission published very recently some statistics about the growth of, I guess, the 14 counties area.
Metro.
And there's going to be an additional 1.2 million Latinos in Metro in the next 30 years. So that means for anyone that's business minded, which I'm sure all of us are here, how are we engaging with this community? How are we growing with the community? How are we attracting the workforce, growing opportunities together? And I think that's really the premise of 40 years into the future. Now, What's next is lots of opportunities for us to engage. We just had our 50 most influential Latinos in Georgia,
So nice.
which was the event that you came to. And we're so glad that you had a chance to see some of the leaders that are making a mark in nonprofit and business and in other sectors. We have coming up our EME Women's Business Conference. And EME is an acronym for Education, Mentorship, and Empowerment of Women. It's also a play on the M phonetically in Spanish. And so we have that amazing event. It's focused on women of wealth, women of wisdom, and of course, another one that I can't think of right now. Oh, Lord. It'll come to me.
There you go.
It's the third W. But that's going to be at the Aurora Theater, and we're excited to have about 400 women come to that. We've got our regional business conference that's happening in November. It's all around procurement. It's going to be international procurement opportunities, federal, state, local, and again, more pathways of opportunities within all of our communities. And then a really cool thing I'm excited about, and after a decade of not doing our international business trip missions. Last year, we went to El Salvador. So there's a huge boom on economic opportunity in El Salvador. This year, we're going to Colombia. So November 16th to November 22nd, we will be going to Medellin, Colombia, and Bogota. Bogota is the capital of Colombia. And Medellin is known as the most innovative city in the world. Georgia Tech has a soft landing exchange program there. We have some of our members that have some of their back-end operations there. So we're very excited about that opportunity to continue to build collaborative opportunities of economic development internationally, domestically, nationwide, and we're going to continue the celebration October 9th. We've got another big announcement to make, but for now, that's what we've got on the horizon, across, and our Hispanic Business Center still has a lot of great things that we're doing
You
together.
have so much going on. You mentioned more than 100 events during the year, obviously, so we know that, but even the culture in Colombia, just what you're going to witness is going to be amazing. I'm super excited. Yeah, you should.
And just like you all, we have a young professionals group called Hype. We have our women's group internally. We have a veterans initiative called Valor, and they have something coming up here very soon as well. And last but not least, our Crear initiative, which is for our creative professionals. So oftentimes folks will call us, especially during Hispanic Heritage Month, we have 54 Hispanic Heritage Month events with our members, so our corporate members that are also asking, or our cities or our counties, and folks that want to procure and bring in cuisine, culture, dance, and expose folks to the 23 different countries that we represent. So there's a lot going on for Hispanic Heritage Month and the rest of the year. We're very excited to be a part of that.
So you mentioned Hispanic Heritage Month, and number one, ladies and gentlemen, it is a month, but it's not a month. And so it took me forever to figure this out because I kept hearing it in September and October. So Hispanic Heritage Month runs from September 15th to October 15th-ish,
Right.
correct?
Yes.
From the middle of the month to the middle of the month, which is interesting. So can you educate us a little bit about what the month is about? I know you've mentioned the initiatives and the events around Hispanic Heritage Month. So obviously you've got plenty going on, but I think for a lot of people, tell me a little bit about what that is and why is it the middle of a month is there a...
We kick off really with the independence celebration of El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, and Chile, which really start off like the Hispanic America's independence.
So is that the middle?
Yeah, and then Mexico followed behind.
Yeah, of course.
And then several others. But that is what helps launch the September 15th celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. And the goal is to highlight the contributions of the Hispanic and the Latino community. We represent now in the United States, we actually globally are the 5th largest GDP. So if we were our own country, we would be the 5th largest country just within the Hispanic and Latino population in the U.S. alone. That's up from top 7. And so it's a chance for us to really share our heritage and our roots and continue to educate folks, because I'm still learning, even within the 23 countries. My family's from Colombia, South America, and I'm learning so much more about our own Hispanic community. So it's a great chance to shape the narratives of the businesses that we have and the culture that we bring to the table and the connectivity and some of our similarities and some of our nuances as well. And that is an exciting chance for us to share some of the civic leaders as well that are leading at the forefront nationally and locally.
And you've got so many great ones. It's interesting. We were talking a little bit before about the fact that obviously your family is in Colombia. You, however, were raised in Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Born in Florida, or were in Gainesville for a little bit, and then came up to Georgia. Yeah. So I think you can speak Southern with the best of them. So I definitely
can. I'm a Georgia peach,
you
blueberry, peanut, you name it.
You got it all going on. No, I love it. Absolutely. Wonderful. So those of us who have not yet celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month, this is a great opportunity through middle of October to do that. And so you mentioned some of the initiatives for your 40 into the future, right? And some of the things that you're going to be doing as upcoming initiatives. I'm going to make you focus on just one. And I know we're like parents of children, you can't pick your favorite. So I'll just ask you to pick one. It doesn't have to be your favorite, but you've got the grants that y'all received, which is special. You've got, as you mentioned, your assistance for businesses inside of the chamber. Maybe just pick one and something that you know is going to really raise the bar on what the Georgia Hispanic Chamber has to offer.
Yes. Thank you so much. It is difficult because there's so many things that we're doing that I personally feel passionate about. Sure. I do see when we were granted the opportunity to provide technical assistance in the accelerator programs. We've been in Macon and we've been in Columbus and Savannah and here in Metro. That support that we're providing our businesses is life-changing. We recently graduated a group of women from our La Jefa League, which is our Lady Boss League.
Yep.
And to hear the stories of how this program has helped them build their confidence in financial acumen and being able to really put a business plan together where they can see themselves not just as a startup, but as a scalable enterprise, to hear the confidence of coming together as a community, specifically of women. We've got a group of men and women and anybody that wants to engage in our accelerator program. There are some unique needs that really are needed to be championed. And being a business owner and an entrepreneur can be a lonely road. I always tell people you have to crazy believe in yourself before absolutely anybody else will. But when you are a business owner and you are not amongst other people that are like you feel like the oddball out. And so what we've been able to witness is this increased level of confidence in our women going through these programs. And right now, Latinas are starting businesses 6 times faster than any other group.
I just read that. I cannot believe that's amazing.
Yes. And so how do we continue to move the needle forward from that startup to development, to scaling them to those $1 million enterprises and shifting the mindset from this is a hobby to this is an actual full-blown business. And we've seen companies in the logistics and trade, and we've seen them in retail, and we've seen them in services and products. And there is a need and a niche and a market for everything, gratefully, because we always talk about when we support our businesses, make sure that you're not starting or growing a business in an area where there isn't a demand.
That's right.
We love seeing there is a demand for what we're seeing. And now we're getting all the La Jefas to come, all the lady boss women to come to our women's conference.
I have never heard that. So El Jefe, everybody knows, right?
El
so
Jefe.
But La Jefa?
Yes, is the lady boss.
Yeah, 100%. But I have never heard it used. Okay, well done. Because I got very excited about it. I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm happy to get you a La Jefa t-shirt. We have
100%. I'm requesting it. Okay,
Perfect.
Awesome. That's great. I love it. La Jefa. I'm going to circle back to something that we talked about at the beginning of this. I asked you, I know you didn't grow up wanting to be a chamber president because most of us in this position didn't even know this existed. I can tell by the passion for it, your passion for it, that obviously it was meant to be and it's the right season for you, and there are seasons for everything, as you mentioned. But what did you grow up wanting to be?
Oh my goodness.
I know.
When I was younger, I really wanted to be a recording artist.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you said that.
I know. At the age of 8, I was singing Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey and Gloria Estefan, and I had my brush in my hand with a beautiful mirror that my mom and dad gave me on the back of my door to emulate the lips and the words. And I was having my own concert in my room. It was beautiful.
You don't need to go anywhere. What are you talking about?
No,
so the difference, ladies and gentlemen, between her doing it and me doing it is I can't sing. And I happen to know that Veronica has an incredible voice. So you actually did some singing.
Yeah.
Professionally, right?
I did. I got signed to an independent record deal. I almost got signed at 16 and my parents, I'm very grateful today. I don't know if I felt that way at 16, but they're like, hey, you still have some other things that you need to do. But then I got signed by an independent record label at 19. And I did that for a couple of years and it just didn't work for many reasons. And I look back at that time as a lot of lessons learned, but shortly thereafter, I did work in the music industry. So I worked for EMI Music Marketing. I worked for Sony BMG on the business side. Because one of the things I always said is if I'm going to get back into that industry, I'm going to know everything about the business.
Smart.
And it just took me along another path in life. And I managed 98 radio stations in the Southeast. I was one of the first Latin artist development representatives for EMI Music Marketing. I worked with a lot of the big box retailers, a little really cool cross promotional efforts. And as I fast forward to where I am today, working with our businesses, back when I worked for EMI Music Marketing, I was working with our small mom and pop record stores trying to get product to our community over 20 years ago. But yes, life took me on a different path, but I have been able to go back into the studio after many years and record some songs for passion projects that I've had.
Like your anniversary.
Like our 40th anniversary. We created my producer 20 years ago. Drew Castro is an incredible talent. He's a 5-time Grammy Award winning producer, worked with huge names. And I said, hey, I have a crazy idea. Let's write a song together as like a love letter to our community called A Night of a Million Stars. And it talks about the immigrant journey. It talks about that star in the sky of wherever you are and not losing hope and not losing faith and overcoming obstacles, and that no matter where you are, you have to be the star of your own story so that you can then shine a light onto a community and never lose hope that your dreams matter, that they're worth it. And I think at the end of the day, the work that we do it's really allowing people to champion what they believe in, which is achieving the American dream. And for many of us, it's the pathway to entrepreneurship. So yes, that just happened very recently. You can find it on Spotify, actually under the Georgia Hispanic Chamber. It's called A Night of a Million Stars.
That's awesome.
And very proud of that. We actually were able to bring in our whole community to perform it.
I saw that. The performance was 4 or 5 different people. It was beautiful.
We leveraged our creative group for that.
I was going to say, your creativity. I can see why you're harnessing that group 100%. Absolutely.
Night of a Million Stars.
I definitely wanted to make sure, and I assumed that little girls, we have all different things that we go through as far as what we want to do when we grow up. So I think that's an interesting time with you, and you've navigated a lot of that.
And I still have a mic in front of me, Callie.
100%
so,
you do. And the difference is now you're shining that light onto all of your business owners as I am. That's our job now, is to make sure that we're highlighting our businesses and making sure that they're successful and the glory is to them. And so that's
100%.
Yeah,
there's no greater feeling than lifting up.
Oh goodness,
folks.
yeah.
I go to sleep at night feeling really pleased about day to day, and I'm sure you get the same feeling.
You should, and that's how you know you're the real La Jefa.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. All right. So we need to tell people how they can find out more about the Georgia Hispanic Chamber and connect with you. What's the best way to do that?
Absolutely. Well, you can visit us on our website, www.ghcc.org. You can also find us at ghcc_news in Instagram. We are also on X. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We are everywhere socially. And we invite you to just like us, follow us, join us, participate, come and hang out with us at the Greater North Fulton and Georgia Hispanic Chamber Business Networking Group. And then we also have that joint event that we do once a year with kind of our HHM mixer, our Hispanic Heritage Month mixer that we just celebrated together as well.
Which was also another great event that y'all do.
Yeah.
Gracias, mi amiga. I appreciate you being here.
It's a pleasure.
I appreciate it more than it is great to have Veronica on the show with us today. And of course, sharing her passion, which happens to be mine as well. So it's always nice to have a peer who I respect and absolutely love. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And congratulations, right?
Yes.
Feliz cumpleaños, all of those things. You've got a 40th anniversary, 40th birthday. So I just want to say good luck with all of the events that you still have coming up this year. And of course, to the entire community on Hispanic Heritage Month.
Awesome.
Of course, for more information about our programs, our events, partnerships, and development opportunities available with the Greater North Fulton Chamber, you can visit gnfcc.com. And until next time, I'm Callie Boatright, and this has been the Gnfcc 400 Insider on Business Radio X.